Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Alconin. Welcome to Premarket Info.
Unemployment number Friday. Joel, are we excited for this move? It has
I
been a
am.
tight range, I tell you, ahead of this unemployment number. We have traded as high as 1592.75 and as low as 1589.50. We were only in a 3 point range overnight. It's been a
Ooh.
while since we've been that tight.
I'm so excited I couldn't sleep last night, but probably something that had to do with watching the Red Wings pull out an exciting victory, and the Tigers also went to extra innings. But just really, the numbers are easy today. Technical analysis made easy. 95 and a half, the high of the move. We made that yesterday. That's your resistance point. Nice round number, like 1600 on the upside. May have some resistance if you get a good pop off the number. Coming back on the downside, Dennis, you have mild support at the 1580 level, and then you get down to the lower 1570s for the major support. But it's all going to hinge on the unenjoyment
Which we're
number.
going to get in about 10 minutes time. So obviously when we get that, we will break to that and we will be able to get you new support and resistance numbers as well. What a chart on LinkedIn though. Reported earnings last night. They beat, not good enough obviously. Stock taking it on the chin here, down 18 points in the pre-market. This is what we say, when these stocks that have been running, have to blow the numbers away. They have to give good guidance. They can't say anything
Right.
that's even a little bit on the bad side, or this is what happens. So stock down $20 almost here pre-market, Joel.
Yes, LinkedIn or StinkTin as far as if you went
Stinkton,
home.
that's the first I heard that one.
If you went home long this going into earnings, the initial barrage took this stock down to 177, got a quick rebound up to 187.50. But let's just focus on what the stock has been doing since 5 p.m. Had a nice low here at 179.15, and the higher end of that range has been 187.50, but really consolidated 179 to 183. We appear to be breaking out of the upper end of the consolidation. So 187.50 after that. And I imagine if you sneak into the 190s, there's some people be throwing out some orders at the half and whole numbers, wishing they would have done that, the first time. Below this 177 level here, you also have some lows under 175, 172 and a half support, and you got this low at 168.55.
Yeah, you kind of got that double bottom going on at 172 and a half, where you had the low
Yeah,
on the
that's
18th of
5 points below. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
ways
that's
away here, but who knows? In the regular
oops.
session, we got an unemployment number, and we've got a lot of other stuff that's going to happen here momentarily. So it's going to have a range. There's no doubt. This thing's going to have a 7, 8, 10 point range probably in the regular session. I like that bar that you've given there, Joel. Just go back to LinkedIn just for a second. That one bar. What was the high after the original or the news move when they overshot
The
it?
news algos.
Yeah, what is that high after that bar? 187, you said? That second bar, yeah.
187.50.
I like that number as initial resistance here because
Okay.
this is you take out all that initial stuff. You obviously had it spike back up, and now that number has some relevance. And on the downside, I like that 179 area that you were talking about, and obviously the low of the overall move was 177. Just to reiterate those numbers, 177.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at on for a possible LinkedIn range here. AIG reported earnings too, and they beat big time. Buck 34 versus 87 cents. I'm not sure if that compares right directly, but wow, that's a big beat if that is the case. 43.20. So they're up a buck here in the pre-market. Close to 42.13. Stock had a high back on the 25th of 42.66, and now is significantly above that and at a new 52-week high.
Yeah, I'm on its way to $5.
On its way to $5. Yeah, if you do the reverse. Was it a 20 for one reverse split or a 10 for one? I thought it was 20. Was it 20 for one? 20 for one, wasn't it? So it's on its
Yeah,
way back to what? $2 for $4.
exactly
Yeah, so
here.
250.
43.63 is what we hit in the pre-market. Things have calmed down quite a bit after that. 43 was holding up as support, minor support, got a little dip below that. So those are the parameters that you use if you're trading this monster. 43 is a mild support, 43.63 the high of the move, and I believe we're obliterating this the 42.66 number. going out a little bit. Can't even find anything on the weeklies. When you have to go to the monthlies, you know it's an automatic short.
Oh, don't
Really.
say that. You know what? I'm going to argue with you all the way to the bank on that because this is like you do see some stocks. We're going to get to the GM that some do turn around here and give it back, but some keep going too. We'll talk about that Visa move too from the other day because that stock just kept flying and flying and flying. So no such thing as an automatic short in this momentum-driven market. But yeah, look at that Visa move from yesterday. Like we were thinking, was that yesterday? Yeah, that was because they reported Wednesday night and they had the overnight move, and we thought, oh well, maybe 171, 172. It's so hard to find resistance. You know, we were looking at those old highs. It looked like a pretty decent number. Forget about it. Just blew it away by 8 points. That was a ridiculous move for Visa there yesterday. So you have to be very, very careful. Even though you have a good reference number, they take that number out and it's off to the races. And that's really what Visa was. That's a new all-time high for Visa. When stocks start making new all-time highs, you do not want to be short them.
Yeah, interesting with that. The former high of the moves at 170.99, and you dipped in the pre-market down to the 170 level. Then it was off to the races.
Gone.
So
Gone.
yeah, we'll see what AIG can do today. We'll see. We'll forget about it on Monday, though, unless we make
Forget
it
about
back.
it. Gilead reported earnings to GILD. That stock trading up $1.20 here, 53.41 after closing at 52.18. Here's a stock that's actually in breakout mode too. We had a high back on the 23rd of 55.16. I don't know if we're going to see that today or not. It's another $1.50, but this one could be thin too. What I've noticed on all these earnings stocks is they get real thin on the open, so you got to be really careful in that opening 10, 20 minutes because some of these earnings stocks are trading super, super thin, and you can see some ridiculous moves when the liquidity is that low.
Right, 53.52 is the high that you had on April 24th. That should be a resistance point that coincides with the level that you're currently trading at in the pre-market. So if you bought it on that day and you're looking to scratch, you got a chance here. If not, things open up. 54 might have a little paper kicking around in it, so it was a whole number that people missed. And then 55.16 is the high of the move. Gap up yesterday, so this is a scary area if you fall below the $52 level.
Couple upgrades and downgrades just to quickly give Beazer Homes getting a couple of upgrades here today. Obviously reported earnings there yesterday. JP Morgan and Compass Point both upgrading the stock here on Beazer Homes. It had a decent move there yesterday, flying higher, but we're going to let Joel find the resistance here. I'll leave this one for him. Stock is trading up another 20 cents here in the pre-market.
1892 was the high from yesterday. I haven't reached that in the pre-market yet. I'd use that 1892 up to a nice round number in 19 as resistance, and then I think this is the stock's been moving to the upside. Other whole number at 20.
Long ways away there.
Yeah, that's a long ways away. And I think this is a little upgrade. I think they didn't get to sell all their stock yesterday. And
Yeah, it's giving heat there. And Lululemon
want-
getting a downgrade at Wedbush, and that stock is trading down $1.20 on this. They're looking at this technical level here too. This is starting to run into a little bit of a wall at $77. Yesterday the high just under 77. It's actually just above at 77.04. So I think it's a more technical thing here. Than I didn't read the report, but I'm just looking at the chart, and stock is trading down $1.30 on it.
Haven't quite got to yesterday's low yet, I believe, of 75.32. Actually got right around that area, 75.30 in the pre-market. We'll keep an eye on that. We break below 75.32 here. You got some room to move down until the $74 level. But, I guess those see-through yoga pants must be selling pretty good or something, because since that news came out, they hit the stock, and then it's rallied 15 points.
See-through yoga pants sounds good. Let's go through a few of the Big Ten here. We're 5 minutes away from the unemployment number.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about some key numbers. Let's go to Facebook for. We'll get away from big, but Facebook we'll start with some of the big guns here because Facebook had a hell of a rally here yesterday. It's pulling back about 15, 18 cents here in the pre-market, but it was a good breakout move. Obviously, Facebook reported there on Wednesday night, had the big move Thursday here. What do you think about the Facebook chart?
Just keep an eye on this 29.02. Is stuck over the $29 level, 29.02. You go back here to February, and you had a 29.05, 29.08 high. So I think the sellers might be kicking around there for a day or two. You break above 29 solidly, you could actually be running a little bit. But I think 29 is going to be a real important level for Facebook today.
And Apple here had a little bit of a. It was down earlier on in the session, but then came all the way back and actually made a new high on the move again, up at 448.59. Kind of a tight range. It was a 9-point range there for Apple, if you can call that tight. An 8-point range, actually, if you can call that tight. It had
It
450
is.
on the mind, but just couldn't get there. What were you saying? Look at?
No, I mean a tight range, and if they usually when Apple does that for a day or two, it usually has a pretty good move. You're getting up into this whole area, this gap area
450
for
to 460.
450.
Yep.
Yeah, but they first have to deal with 451.82. That was the high on March 28th. Dennis, if you want to, hop
Yeah,
off
I'm gonna
here.
hop off here for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go trade the number. I'm gonna let you guys, Joel, go through a little bit of the Big Ten here with you with a few numbers, and I will hop back on here in about 5 minutes.
All right, go get them, Dennis. Okay, just a couple other stocks of note here in the Big Ten, forming some resistance here, and a couple of the big boys here. I want to alert our traders. Three highs in ExxonMobil between 88.84. Actually, that was Wednesdays and Thursdays high, and Fridays high at 88.99. So there you go. Nice resistance here at 89. Go up to 89.35 to fill the earnings gap that we had just a week or so ago. Its brethren here, Chevron Corporation, new all-time high yesterday, 122.33. Also a new all-time high close at 122.04. So dipping under the $122 level, but only significant resistance here is 122.33 in the Chevron Corporation. Another one of the not necessarily a high flyer, but boy, oh boy, oh boy. GE running in the wall here at the 22.40 level. You've had five highs between 22.32, 22.40. Just being stubborn as all get out to come up and fill this gap here up to the 22.57 level. So GE trying to climb the wall of worry here, but not having a lot of luck. Another topping formation potentially here, even though it's breaking above this triple top here in IBM. 202.59 was the highest of these highs. Really like to see it hold the 202.50 level, or else I think we could sink right back down to round number 200. We're still trying to fill this gap up from the earnings debacle at 206.15. New high for the move here in Microsoft yesterday, 33.16. Still looks like there's a seller lingering around here. Three consecutive highs, 33.08 to 33.17. I was trying to do the numbers on this to find resistance, and I had to go back to the monthlies here and let's see if I could find it far enough. I mean, just getting in this 33 to 35, 36 area. I mean, that was part of the swoon that it had in 2008. So really, just a lot of minor resistance here. I feel like kicking myself for thinking that Microsoft can go to 36, but just not a lot of identifiable resistance levels. Okay, we are just a few seconds away here from the number. Let's get the S&Ps up here to see what they're going to do on this puppy. We're getting a little bit of jitteriness here. 10 seconds. The Benzinga desk is looking for a better jobs report here. We'll see what happens. Okay, someone's jumping the gun here. We're busting out to the upside. We busted above 1595, which was the prior high of the move. They like the number. On our way to perhaps to 1600 here. Better than expected number. 1598.50. Here's the high. Got a nice quick pop on that with really no drop. Another new high for the move. There's over 1600, folks. 1601. Where will this puppy stop? Let's go to my numbers here, and I have a 2-star at 1604, but we'll see what happens. Well, there you go. The uptrend here continues in the market, and the S&Ps here, the stocks are getting a lift. I don't know if they're getting as much of a lift as according to fair value here, but so far so good. Let's use coming back down here. Let's use the 1595.50 number as support now. That was the high of the move from yesterday. So above 1595.50, we're good to go north here in the market. Nice pop off the unenjoyment number. Just getting back here to a couple stocks in the Big Ten. Pfizer Corporation finding a lot of support here at the $29 level. The only thing of note here is three lower highs. So actually, three lower highs in this. So look for that string to be broken until you get too excited on Pfizer on the long side. And the Googster breaking out here. One significant number at 839.70 was the high that you had, and you had the all-time high of the move here at 844. Well, as the S&Ps are just vacillating here around the $1,600 level, I just want to open up the forum here to see if we have any questions regarding the pre-market activity.
Just before you do that too, Joel, we could just pop back actually to the S&P numbers here. It's crazy move. I know you covered it a little bit here. We're just breaking over 1,600 here again. So the psychological $1,600 level has been broken here, at least in the pre-market it has. Good number here, obviously, 138,000 up from 88,000 on the non-farm payroll. So, I mean, everything's looking, it's looking pretty good here this morning.
Yep, I guess the trend is your friend here.
Yeah, it's hard to fight this trend, and now that we're breaking up over 1,600, April unemployment rate of 7.5% is the lowest since December of 2008. So that's what CNBC just has on their screen right now. I mean, that's incredible here. So obviously, beating March, we're at 7.5% unemployment rate. So I mean, I guess everybody who was looking for jobs probably stopped looking, and then that's how the rate goes down. The way they calculate those numbers is always interesting. But
how are the stocks moving according to fair value?
yeah, they've all popped up here now, and that's really what happens there. Obviously, they adjust very quickly. You have a lot of high-frequency algorithmic trading systems that will pick off and will take, obviously, any stocks that they can when the stocks move up that fast. So, as many stocks were trading flat here about 5 minutes ago, you now have the majority of them trading much higher. Not surprisingly, some of your financials here leading the way. Goldman Sachs is up over $1 now. You've got IBM trading up almost $1 here now. You've got Caterpillar trading up almost $1 here. So some of your cyclicals taking charge. So not surprising here on these. Obviously, that some of your more risk-on stocks here are rallying strongly here.
And all those resistance levels that I just mentioned before the number will now be support levels.
Yeah, they're still relevant numbers, obviously, but I think this is a big number. Obviously, it's going to be critical at the S&P for you bulls out there that it continues with the move, holds the 1,600. You would not want to see this turn around and cave back here today, but it's a big psychological hurdle that is lifted here this morning.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get giddy here, I mean, the average daily range in the SPOOs has been, between 18 and 20 points. So you project that off the 1589 level, and you're looking at 1610.
Yeah, and we're 1602. We're still climbing here. So, it's been a straight up since this number.
Do I need to adjust the S&P numbers up?
You may have to. I don't know what's your highest number that you got on that sheet, because you may have to.
1607.50.
1603 might have to adjust it almost immediately here, because we are booting and we are moving higher. How do you find resistance numbers, Joel, when you're never been that high? That's what I'm curious too sometimes on your S&P numbers sheets.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things here that I do, and I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this, because I'm going to have to call the Chicago Mercantile Exchange today, because this is a monthly chart of the ES, but it's the front month contract. So I'm not sure what they're figuring into this equation. I mean, because here, even though the index is at an all-time high,
the futures aren't.
They still, the futures, but this is rolling the front month contract. So before I, figure out the math on that and anything, or exactly what goes behind it, I'll tell you, I rely on the old pivot point formula, because that's based on, and I think we've talked about that before and also on one of our lectures, but if you're looking at the ES monthly, you're not looking at really any resistance until a close that you had in April of 2000 at 1675. And then according to this, the all-time high of the move, it's 1635.50. So have to get a little better information on that before we start, using those as targets. But what is important to use, when you have kind of moves like this, is the average daily range if you're looking for targets in stocks. So if we don't have any more questions from the peanut gallery, we'll close this down and try and get the show up on the site a little bit earlier. Also, later on today, for you Kentucky Derby fans, I'll be posting my blog. I don't know. I'm going to be a little careful here because got lucky last year to see if at least the trend can continue in my Kentucky Derby picks. So that's our show for today, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with you on Monday.